Hi, good evening, and welcome to the AhaVah Effect, where love leads, grounded in authenticity. I'm Candace, and thank you for joining us tonight as we continue the Becoming series, where we share our stories with you in an effort to get you moving forward or just to let you know that you're not alone. Tonight, I have the benefit actually of being hosted by Bianca Clark, aka Day One, who you saw on the first introductory live. We are so happy to have her. I'm blessed that she would give up her time to this initiative. Few kind of housekeeping stuff. So, disclaimer disclosures, this Becoming series is in no way related to any publication, any production, or anything with the same name. It is simply just used in vocabulary to talk about where we are, where we were, where we may be going. So, just in the definition of the word, I do not have any financial disclosures or sponsorships. Welcome. Hey, Mrs. Clark, how you doing, girl?
I am doing great. Thank you for having me back again. I appreciate it. Um, Hi, everybody in the chat. So let's just go ahead and get tonight started. So today we have two featured guests. Are we bringing my bad?
Just we have to. So I will quickly bring to the stage Miss Cooper, who is joining us tonight, and we'll bring her back at the end so she can ask away her questions or dig a little deeper, or she may have some additives since both of these women have known me for more than 10, now maybe 15 years. Yeah. So we'll bring her back on at the end.
All right, so we're going to start off tonight with Candace. And before we get into your story, Candace, can you give us some background on your mission and the vision of the channel and why Ahava?
So yes, so little background. So the Ahava effect. So Ahava is a Hebrew word, excuse me, that means basically it's a love that's transformational. So you give because you love, and essentially you're not really seeking anything in return. It's not exactly romantic; it supersedes romantic love. And Ahava was a word I chose because I was kind of trying to go with mundane things and trying to understand really where I was trying to go with the vision and mission. And that's when God kind of put in my heart, like, you already love on people, you're already a caretaker. I kind of made you who
Mm-hmm.
you are, right? There's no real reason to reinvent that. So basically, Ahava just meaning that this platform is really a tool to help grow others. With me just kind of loving on people by getting others to tell their stories and be super authentic without really expecting anything in return. Hopefully, the return is that we all grow together, and a platform really because it's global, right? So reach one, teach one. The idea being that the many, however many you can touch, I felt like that the virtual platform that would be ideal for that, and that it would also allow people to kind of be interactive, like ask their questions. But more than anything, I think in the world that we're in now, people are looking more for that rawness, the vulnerability, right? I think
Right.
even post COVID, nobody's really talking to each other. Like, we're on our phones, and I guess to this platform, we're on social media. But what are we really saying? Like, are we opening up about what we're going through, like what our lives are really like, in an effort to help somebody else? So I am not a super open person um, at baseline, but I felt like this was something that kind of God was pushing me to do. So here we are.
I love that. So it's you being selfless, trying to open up a platform for others to also invite that conversation of things that we tend to hide and not share with each other. So very good. I hope that it grows into the flower that you need it to be. Um, so can you share parts of your story that you feel have and continue to shape who you are becoming?
Okay, so yes, so to be honest, I thought about this a little bit, and I was like, well, where am I going to start? How transparent and vulnerable am I going to be? How much am I going to say? And honestly, I'm just kind of going to let God lead on this one, but also protect the most, some of the parts of my story that don't just include myself.
Hmm.
Okay. So, what I will say is, I am hoping to have a publication way down the line where there'll be a lot more tea to spill. Tonight, I'm just going to kind of start where I feel like the most impactful moment happened. And for me, that was being a teen mom. And
Hmm.
I'll go into that a little bit because I feel like the details are important, right? So AB student at a Catholic high school. I had amazing parents. My mom, whoop whoop, she's on the channel. She basically had us in church. I knew church, school, home, and maybe extracurricular activities if she let us. Okay, so I grew up in the Bronx. I'm the oldest of three. I'm actually the oldest of six. So my mom has three, my dad has three, with my bonus mom. Um, and really, I was not really thinking about sex. Sex was not really on the menu. I had friends that had lost their virginity. And at 16, I decided to listen to verbiage that was like, yeah, you're ready, let's do it. And now that I think more about it, I think I was probably just seeking something and I didn't know what that was. Okay.
Mhm.
And
Mhm.
I'm going to paint the whole picture. So essentially, and I'm sorry, mom and dad. So this was probably the weekend literally of my 16th birthday. Okay.
Uh-huh.
And I don't remember the details around it. I think my mom was working, whatever happened. And 5 minutes, and my son was conceived not 9 months later. Okay. And I'm just putting it out there because that's me being authentic. So,
It's the 5 minutes for me, but
or
go ahead.
less. I don't recall. It's been many years since then. This channel is not for children. Not for children. Okay. So essentially, I hid this really in shame, guilt. I don't even know how to describe some of the emotions I felt. And I say hid kind of peripherally from my mom because she worked a lot to provide for us. And so it was about 6 months before I finally told my mother. And I think she thought inner city kid, right, in the Bronx, we ate whatever. I was just gaining weight.
Mhm.
But no, eventually I told her, and she was super supportive. There are a lot more details that lend to that. My son, who I consider a blessing, there are no mistakes. Please do not ever call your child a mistake. Okay. My son was a surprise, but I was there, so it shouldn't have been that surprising. Okay. Your children are blessings from God. It's just based on our choices. That's when God gives them to us. Okay.
Right.
So they're not mistakes. My son was the biggest blessing of my life. I would not have met either of these women if my son had not been born. So fast forward, because I have, like I said, I have amazing parents. My mom allowed the opportunity for me to come to Florida to go to school, and my dad invited me to come live with him to get in-state tuition. Whoop, whoop. So appreciate that, and that's how I met Mrs. Clark. So that was a monumental moment for many reasons. At 16, you barely understand how you feel about life, and I had a whole life now to take care of. So that was huge. So that changed me. I became somewhat of an adult, and I'm going to be honest about that because being a mother does not automatically make you an adult. Okay,
Right.
you have to choose the child, and you have to choose things that are very hard, like decisions that are hard. Like it was hard for me to leave New York, the only life I kind of knew. It was hard for me to be an adult child again, living with my parents in kind of a new living situation. But sometimes my advice on that is eat it, right? Because the truth is it there is a consequence for your decision,
Mhm.
right? You may not understand it at the time, but there is. So for me, that was a transition. And then college. So, to go back, I got saved, right? Gave my life to God I was probably 8 to 10, got baptized at 12. Shout out to my church home, TGT in New York. That's where I was baptized. And then got to college, and God was beside my life. He was he was there. I trusted him. I believed in him. But if I'm honest, all the things that I guess I thought I missed out on, growing up in church and not really being sheltered, not all of the things, but I was outside. I had a great time in college. I'm not
We're
sure.
outside.
We were outside. We were outside. And I'm not sure in a lot of my decisions I always put God first. So I'll say I think college was another monumental moment where I had to look at many things like
Mhm.
what am I doing, where am I going, and all of that. So yeah, college was another one. Then I got married to my husband at 25. And we have two beautiful children, one of which was already born by then. She was 7 months at the courthouse. And then, yeah, and from there, I got more degrees and worked a lot of jobs. And at 39 got to a point where I was like, I've achieved all these things and I'm not sure the mark that I'm making. And back to question one. So that's why the AhaVah Effect came, because I felt like my story needed to be heard. I felt like there are women, young men, there are people out there struggling with similar things, not
Mhm.
thinking that, certain things are achievable. So, yeah.
Yeah, and I was smiling and cheesing so hard, everyone, because I was with my girl. We was riding out the whole time. When I met her, her son was 2 years old, and I watched her really grow. Like, she had obstacles in her way. Of course, when we're young, we all make very poor decisions. But she's right. God was with us. I be shouting in church all the time because I be
And
thinking.
we're laughing out. It's not funny. Okay. I'm going to tell you, any young adult out here in college and you're having a wonder, please put God first. Put for real. Put God first.
Please do.
Um, he was with us, okay? And babies and fools, he definitely does. His grace is sufficient, but I don't think you should try him probably the way we did. Oh, and I'm
No.
being very serious about that.
Yes. But God is a keeper and he's definitely guiding you all the way up until this point, right? So I'm just grateful that you didn't let your obstacles stop you. Grateful that you're still growing and flourishing in this moment, even right now. So,
Oh, thank you, boo.
of course, if you had to list three priorities for you today in order,
Hmm.
what would they be?
So God, family,
Mm-hmm.
and really my extended family, which are my friends. And I have some background with that. It used to be profession, right? It used to be my
Mm-hmm.
goals. It used to be like, I'm not going to lie to y'all, I had a list, right? And the list was like, by the time I'm 30, I'm going to get a house. And by the time I'm this and I'm a that, and then I'm going to go back and do this and I'm going to go back and do that. And I'm going to give y'all a little insight. You can create these mountains that you want to climb in your life, but if you're doing it for the wrong reason and you're not really doing it with either like a kingdom mindset or the mindset of like it's too, I don't know. So what I'm saying is some of that can be selfish ambition. So for me, it used to be, oh, I'm going to be this bomb nurse practitioner, and I'm gonna have my own practice, and then I graduated,
Yeah.
and I transitioned into a very similar role that I had as a nurse, and I got to the top of that mountain, and I was like, this is it. What now? And I realized that a lot of these like selfish ambitions we have, they can be empty. Like I
Yeah.
understand now why people who have a lot of money don't
Mm-hmm.
feel fulfilled. And that's because you're seeking essentially, and I'm not saying you, I'm saying me, in
Mm-hmm.
seeking the wrong thing. So it's like God, spending time with my family really, and then also just growing people, spending time with friends, listening to people's stories. So for me, those are like experiences. So like experiences at this point in my life trumps money.
Yeah.
Yeah. Those are like my
Yeah.
things.
That's definitely growth when you realize the fruit that God has, bared for you. And it's not money. Money is not, it's a necessity. Obviously, we need it, right?
Right.
But God can provide us with everything that we need, even without the finances, if we really trust and we really believe in Him. And it's a hard thing to do, but He is always there providing for you as long as you keep Him first. Good.
Mhm. Absolutely.
All right, so at this time, we're going to take a break and see if anyone in the audience has any questions, any comments, feedback that they would like to provide in this moment. And remember, I can't see the chats.
Yes. So first of all, I want to say hello to everyone in the room. And so thank you, Toshika, for saying Alafia to us. And to Verna Jones, 3545. That's my mama, y'all.
Hey, Mama.
Hey, mama. That's our mama, y'all, really. um, and yeah, I mean, we have time. So if you think of any questions or comments, any way that also you can relate, if you're like, hey, listen, I have a story, I can relate to that, or hey, I'm going through this. Like, do you ladies have anything for this right now? Have you been through something similar? We're here for it. Again, we are not mental health counselors. I am not practicing in a medical capacity right now. However, we're just here to walk you through whatever we have possibly also been through. Okay, so just drop your stuff in the comments, either in Facebook or under the YouTube video, and we'll get to them, we promise.
Absolutely.
So
All
we have
right.
one. I'm going to bring
Go
one
ahead.
up. So, hi, 0227 at 0227 Michelle. She says, when struggling with self love, what are things to remember? Oof, out the gate. Thank you. Thank you for that one.
Yes.
Well, I I'm going to start with no matter what you're being called, no matter what you're being told, above everything, the only title that you hopefully relate to is child of God. Okay. I don't know what your faith is and I don't know what you believe, but the Bible has a lot of superlatives about who you are. Okay. Meaning big words that are beautiful. That's where to start, I would say. That's how I started redefining what I thought about myself. Um, I lacked self love for a very long time because I didn't even know what it is. So, my definition of self love is that one, you love essentially not necessarily who you are in a situation, but when you look yourself in the mirror, like you like who you see, right? I love that I this or that I that. If there are things you don't particularly love about yourself or self love is hard, I would say start with the things that you may want to change. But also, you might want to get rid of those external untruths. So if that's a boyfriend who's like, whatever, if that's a friend, because I've lost a lot of friends that I thought were something and they were not. And then the next thing is to establish a relationship with God, like so that you can really understand truly who you are and who you were made to be. I think that is the most important thing to remember is that you are like royalty to him. So that's that. And then also to remember that hurt people hurt people. So if the lack of love for yourself is coming from outside of yourself, it could also be because that person or whomever is inflicting that harm is broken as well. But I'm gonna see if Mrs. Clark got anything to say about that one because, ooh,
I think you did a really good job. I mean, the important thing is you have to cancel out the noise, right? You have to get rid of the negative things that's affecting how you feel. Also, you have to speak life into yourself, even if you don't believe the things at first, because you're not going to believe the things. If you're already struggling with the self love, you are speaking negative thoughts to yourself. You have the self doubt. So you have to start faking it until you make it. I know some people don't like to do that, but that's a true statement. You have to keep on practicing it until it becomes something that's very natural and something that you really start believing. And if you're having a hard time doing that by yourself, then go seek professional help. Go get you a therapist. Walk through the different steps that you have to do in order to get back to yourself. But do the things that you enjoy, do the things that you love. I want to emphasize that self love is so much more than getting your nails done, getting your hair done, making the outside look good. Self love is an eternal journey that you have to really put maximum effort into. And if you don't have that power to do it within yourself, go and seek some help. Yeah.
yes,
So you hit the nail on the head. So absolutely. It's hard work. It's really hard work. A lot of the people out here who claim that they love themselves, they're struggling just like you. Cut off the internet. What Kendrick Lamar said, cut the TV off, like cut it off. We
stop scrolling.
stop scrolling. We really believe the things that we see. So change the channel. Maybe you're looking at some negative things. Maybe you watching, I don't know, the housewives or whatever, and you're seeing the things that they have and it makes you feel less than. Stop watching that stuff and start watching things that feed your mind, feed your soul, feed your body.
Yep. And also make a list. So the same way, so I'm gonna say we are the most hypercritical of ourselves, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like even before I came on tonight, I'm gonna be real honest with you. I was like, oh, the lipstick too dark. Do I even need to really be doing all of this and da 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 and all that? And you sitting there just picking yourself apart. And it's like legit, there are 1,000 people out here that are like, girl, you beautiful. Like, I don't know what you worried about. Like, there are people who wish they even had a lipstick to put on. They're walking
Hmm.
outside with plastic bags on a shopping cart. And I had to like, I have to a lot of times I have to check myself. Like, check
Yeah.
yourself. You are literally like looming over first world problems when in this first world there's people out here with more problems than
Yeah.
which lipstick to choose. So there's that. So we gonna move on to, to Mama, who says your best advice for young people is setting real goals and staying focused. Also, how do you overcome negative trauma?
Oh.
Mm-hmm.
If you're really struggling with trauma, I would say you need to seek professional help. Um, because you're saying you're struggling with negative trauma. What type of trauma are we talking about? And I'm a mental health counselor, you guys. So that's where I'm coming from this perspective. Um, you can also, and some people can't afford it, and I get that, right? Find a mentor, find a church, find somebody who has their head on their shoulders and is able to speak life into you, or just surround yourself with positive things. But if we're talking about some true deep rooted trauma, I highly recommend getting some resources out here. For kids, I know for sure there is tons of free resources out there. My job, I work for Hillsborough County Children's Services. We offer free counseling for kids 6 to 17 years old. If you're in the Tampa Bay area, reach out. It's a Sins Fins program. They're all throughout the state of Florida. There's free counseling out there for kids. There's trauma counseling out there for kids. For young adults, 18 to 24, you might be able to find some free counseling, things like that. But get involved in some of those women empowerment. I don't really trust those too much. I'm thinking more so of those girl groups that, like the Butterfly Effect. I've heard of one before, the Boys and Girls Club, different things like that. You want to try and surround yourself with the resources that you need in order to put yourself in a better position. It's something that you're going to struggle with if you do it by yourself. So isolating yourself is not something that I recommend. You want to put yourself around the right people, but if your trauma causes you not to trust individuals, then find professional resources that you need.
So along that plug, I'ma just tell y'all, I have a therapist. So I don't have any first of all, therapy is not as taboo as it used to be. Finally, the medical community has come around the fact
Hmm.
that physical health and mental health are linked, right? And so essentially, what you think, so a man thinketh is he, right? We'll hear that, read that, whatever. So the mind can significantly affect the body. I realize that a lot of the things, and I'll just put it out there, right? Married at 25, my mom was essentially a single mom. I didn't have marriage modeled for me until I was a young adult. So I didn't know how to be a wife. Okay. So we started with marriage counseling because being young and not knowing how to be married is difficult. And I will leave it at that. And so there were a lot of things that we didn't do right, a lot of things, but we got to a point in our marriage where we realized this is outside of us. We now need a neutral mitigator, someone to tell us, ask us certain questions that might bring up things that we didn't even think to ask, right? And I'm gonna be keep it 100 with y'all. And my husband knows this. So I was like, I want this type of counselor. He got to be male, faith based, a man, because whatever, because he gonna tell him. But guess who mostly changed from the therapy?
Me.
Me,
Oh, okay.
me, me. So here's the thing. A lot of times too, like going to a therapist, what it does is they are trained like a doctor, right? When you have high blood pressure, they give you medicine for your blood pressure. Like a doctor, a therapist is trained to pull those things out that you cannot identify. They have tools and they have resources. And so in my opinion, I think, how did I get to the depth of those things? Some of those things, and I still have yet to go through trauma therapy. I'm considering it. But I had to seek a mental health counselor. I had to talk to somebody like, is something really wrong with me? Am I the problem? What am I not dealing with? And it helped significantly. It allowed me to learn how to have introspection, learn how to like look at myself, and also realize you can't change that person. Whoever did it to you, if they're not willing to change, you can't change it. And so you have to decide, really, even before therapy, you have to decide, am I going to get over this, right? Or am I just going to hold it? Because even therapy can't help you if you're going to hold it.
Hmm.
You're going to have to be prepared to let it go.
Yeah.
Okay. We're going to answer a few more and then we're going to move on. Thank you, Glam Dolls Boutique, for loving the advice. We see you. Okay. So, how do we deal with difficult truths that you didn't like about yourself? What was your aha moment? Um, that's hard. I'm still dealing with some of those hard truths about myself, by the way. My aha moment was really God, right? Like his requirement is not that I'm perfect, it's that I'm in progress. It's actually a requirement. Like I know that I can't be perfect because only he was perfect. And so my aha moment is to stop trying to be perfect. It doesn't exist. So it's accepting the whatever it is, right? I still have adult acne. I got adult acne, right? I don't want hyperpigmentation, whatever the situation is, right? Or I used to be real flit with my mouth, just whatever, say whatever I think felt. When I looked at myself and I realized that that was something that I could change, I changed it, but I had to acknowledge that it was hurting people. So I
Hmm.
would say, whatever that thing is, you got to like own it, but also realize that as long as God is working with you, it can improve. That's what I believe, unless you have something else, Mrs. Clark.
No. I'll just add, for some people it takes losing everything,
Oof.
or, having a nasty attitude, and then next thing you know, you don't have any friends. Like at some point you're gonna realize you are the problem, so maybe you need to do something a little bit different.
Yeah.
Everyone has their aha moments and it's different for every person. But typically it takes a lot of sacrifice. And it's going to take sacrifice to make that change too if you want to see something different. What's the thing? Insanity is doing the same thing over and over again, expecting a different outcome, so you become this insane person. So you'll have to relax a little bit to get things under control or to expect a different outcome. So,
Mhm. So this is the last question we're going to take at this break. Okay, so when did you realize God was real to you, and was there an experience in your life, oof, that you surrendered? Okay.
mama
Ooh,
coming through.
Ma, all right, Ma. I see you asking the question. Okay, so the main one for me is so one of my children has mental health struggles, and I won't go into details because that is legal. And so it was. So God was always real to me, right? So went through a lot in childhood, like including homelessness and things like that, and just a lot of different times when God showed up, right? But most importantly was having to pray daily that my child woke up every day and that they wanted to he or she wanted to be here with us. And that was the moment for me when I really, I guess, had to decide in my adulthood, is he real to me? Because what happens is not that God will test you, but your faith will be tested, right? And so
Mhm.
basically my faith was tested because it was like, so this situation you're not in control of, right? If X happens, then what will you do? If Y happens, then what will you do? And so that's when God became very real to me, because that was a situation I had to fully surrender to him,
Yeah.
like fully. And also, Crystal says, "Hey, love you, Bianca."
Hey, Crystal girl.
I'll put that up, girl, because we love her too, girl. We love her. We love her. And then she said, and then of course our sister says, "Yes, Jesus, my mouth. I'm working on that. We know, baby. We love you. We love you, though. See you soon. We love you." All right, y'all. So we're gonna move on in the segment. Keep the story going, but please keep the questions and comments coming because I love it. I love the interaction. So what we got
Yes.
next, B?
All right. So the next thing, can you identify two challenges that you faced on your journey that you have either overcome or you're still working on? And if you could, maybe one that you're still working on and one that you've overcome. That'd be really good.
Okay. Um, so I would say, let's see. So one that I have overcome, obviously, is my fear of vulnerability. So I think not being vulnerable is a huge aspect of our mental health issues, in my
Mm,
personal opinion. I feel
okay.
like, and I could get emotional, but I feel like the more you try to isolate, the more you try to keep to yourself, the more those that's when you start rehearsing the lies that are not true, right? You just keep,
Hmm.
and there's no one there to like interject, right?
Yeah.
So you're just like, oh, I got, and I'm not this, and I. So for me, I feel like I finally overcame like, oh, but you got a whole license, and if you put your business out in the street, then what? Then someone may be healed. Someone might seek therapy. Someone
Right.
might wake up tomorrow.
Yeah.
I had to get over that it's not just about, it's bigger than me. So I've gotten over that. My insecurity is multifaceted. My I'm like, you give me a GI patient and ask me what to do, baby. I'm 120% okay.
Yeah.
Um, but with some areas of my life, I still struggle with imposter syndrome. Like some days I'm still trying to not be her, 16 and pregnant. Okay. Some days I'm still not trying to be, the girl who was pre-med and then had to leave because she was doing a little too much partying, get an associate's degree in nursing, and then, the full story, right? Which is why
Right.
I don't have my credentials up on the screen today, but I'll talk about that at the end. So I still struggle with insecurity. And I'm gonna be honest, I love my husband. I'm not gonna put all his business out, but he's like my biggest cheerleader nowadays. Like we joke now that we're becoming best friends again, which is awesome, by the way.
I love it.
It's really awesome. Like if
Yeah.
anybody's having issues, like try it, get a mental health like get a marriage counselor. It works, y'all. But he's like my biggest cheerleader. He's my voice, but he didn't know to be that voice until I told him what I was struggling with, right?
Yeah.
If he didn't know, he couldn't help me. So
Hmm.
still working, I'm still working through that. I can't even tell y'all what that looks like. There are days that I'm literally seeing patients and I'm having out of body experiences like, girl, you a whole, like it's so hard. But again, you just got to like go back to who God says you are. And that's what I try to do daily.
And all right, I'm gonna leave that alone.
No, 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 no. Comment. We got time. We got time.
I was just saying it's interesting how earlier you talking about don't
Yeah.
shoot me, something that you overcame, right? Which was being vulnerable, but you struggle with it within your own profession,
Even.
and
Mhm. Yep. And so
you
let me
had to be vulnerable in order to open up that doorway for you and your husband to be best friends again,
right.
so it's proof right there. God is showing you that it works,
It,
right? Trust the process. So
yeah.
if it worked here, why wouldn't it work there? So we're going to use that irrational thinking for, well, what if this doesn't work? What if that don't work? Well, what if this does work and it did work? You actually have proof, factual
Right.
evidence that it
You're right.
worked here. So try it somewhere else. Sorry, y'all.
See,
I
now I'm
do
gonna have
this
to
with
pay her
her
for
all the
counseling.
time.
You see, this is what lovely grounded in authenticity. You see this best friend and on here giving me I think free counseling, but we'll talk later.
That's why I said I wasn't gonna do it. All right. So, but that was good, very good. But it's a process, right? It's always a process. You never stop growing. You're forever moving in a forward direction. Once you stop moving, you stay stagnant and then you get stuck. So you have to keep on pushing. Love
Yeah,
that.
you do. And this is just I'm the reason I'm on here being like this with y'all is because I'm not gonna lie to y'all. One thing I said I was not going to do on this platform was lie. And so this is however it comes is what's going on. And if that means I have to stop and get a moment of counseling, then I can see. I'm here for it.
We do this all the time on the phone. She checked me too, y'all. So don't get it confused.
Yep.
I
Part
get
four.
checked too.
Part four loaded. Girl.
All
Anyway,
right.
sorry, y'all.
So,
Have a joke.
what would you consider one of your greatest accomplishments?
Um So honoring God first. I think that is my greatest accomplishment. And I say that, and I know everybody's like, oh, she's talking about God a lot. And yeah, because I didn't get to do that the first time we was doing intros. Like we were, but this is who I am. Am I perfect? No. Am I a believer? Absolutely. And I'm not gonna tell you again, I'm not gonna lie. I think
Mhm.
when I honored God, like as first in my life, instead of my career, instead of being a mom, instead of being a practitioner, everything else worked out. Or, and also, so basically when I did that, things started working out. And then I guess behind that, what I did was I started listening to the people in my life that make sense,
Mm-hmm.
that I wasn't listening to before because I was stubborn. So my friends, for example, girl, you're a natural leader. You should do this. I would say Miss Cooper, who's on with us, was one of those friends. At times, Bianca, you have been one of those friends. Like, girl, what we doing? Like, I don't know why you even worried about that. Or my husband, like, just do it. And my mom or my dad, my brothers, whoever it was, encouraging me. My bonus mom, colleagues, that have said, girl, just do. That's so you. Like, so I think putting God first, that so He could show me what direction to go in, literally, and then listening to my village, which is why we're trying to now be a village to you.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Very good. All right. So we're coming down to the last few questions.
Mm-hmm.
Do you have any words or advice or counsel for those who may be facing similar challenges that you have faced in the past?
Um, so first of all, whether they're similar or different,
Hmm.
the words that I have are like, I know that I cannot be anything really or everything to anybody, right? But God's got you, legit. Like He really does. Try Him if you haven't. That's what I would say first. The next thing I want to say is that from what I've been asked to do, AhaVah is here. AhaVah is here, essentially here to kind of listen to those comments, to listen to that self doubt, to maybe hopefully be that voice, whether it's today or another day, or if it's a reel that you see on the channel, or just a word of encouragement. We really just want to be here for you to let you know that there is more. It doesn't, I didn't think there was either at 16. And then, with some of the choices that I made in my life, I'm not perfect. Because I put God first, that does not mean I'm perfect. I make mistakes. I'm still struggling with stuff. That does not exclude you from the family. You still His child. And also, we still are here to help you. So that's what I really have to say. Keep going. Like for real, keep going.
Keep going. All
Yeah.
right. So at this moment, we'll take a break. And if there's any questions, any feedback, any comments, we'll go ahead and answer those now. And then we will get ready to move on.
Do we have any comments on Facebook or YouTube? Oh, we see you. I think it's at Shamika Rouse 1526. Hearts back to you, love.
Hearts.
Hearts back to you. All right. Thank you. Oh, okay. Well, we don't have any more comments right now. So we'll wait to see if anything comes in, but we can move on, B.
All right. So next, for those who are watching and subscribed, if you're not subscribed to the YouTube channel, y'all go ahead onto YouTube and click that subscribe button and the like button while you're there. What can we expect from AhaVah?
So I'm still in prayer about that, if I'm honest, 100%. However, what I would like to do is actually more workshops that are local, and I'm trying to coordinate a back to school events um, in the possibly Hillsborough County or Pasco area in the state of Florida. But also, I hope to maybe like start initiating some speaking engagements for myself and those I say in the village, because I believe it takes a village, if the opportunity should arise. But other than that, really just hosting these beautiful, amazing women that are part of the Becoming series so far, and kind of just letting God see what happens. Like, I'm here for you. Also, like if you're a viewer and there's something you really want us to talk about, go ahead and send a message in the channel. You can send a message to me personally. Um, and, we can maybe bring that up as a topic of conversation. I'm always here and open to anything positive on AhaVah.
Okay, great. So just very fluid right now, just kind of seeing where God leads you,
Yeah,
but still staying true to your purpose.
absolutely.
So is there anything else you want to leave with everyone?
Not really. I just hope y'all have a good evening, and I hope that this has in some way given you a little piece of me, and also giving you that little push that you might need. I hope everyone enjoys their Memorial Day. If anyone has lost any loved ones fighting for our country, thank you for your
Yes.
sacrifice.
Thank you for your
Um, you are in our prayers, and we are grateful. Other than that, I think that is the live today, ladies and gentlemen. I want to quickly shout out everyone on the live currently, and I am going to bring Miss Cooper up on stage if she would like to come. Okay, so she has gone. So I want to thank Verna Johnson, 3545, for joining us. Mama, hey. We're going to thank Miss Cooper for joining us. We're going to thank my sissy at 0227 Michelle. Love you, boo. I want to thank Miss Angela Manley, 9254. We saw you. Thank you for listening. I want to thank at Glam Dolls Boutique. Thank you so much for tuning in. And I also want to thank at Shamika Rouse, 1526, for joining us this evening. A pleasure. And then thank you, Hubby Loves at Willie 0880 for saying he's so proud of me. Love you, babe. Thank you for that. Um, and that is our group for tonight. Oh, Ma, Chris says she loves you. And yeah, oh, to be more authentic. So my mom has a big birthday coming up. So I just want to say happy early birthday, Mom, but we'll see you when we see you.
Happy birthday.
Yeah, it's a big birthday, B. I'll tell y'all about it when we get off. But just wanted to let y'all know, thank you again for joining us on the AhaVah Effect, where love leads grounded in authenticity. Until next time, which will actually be Monday, June 1st at 7 p.m., we'll be hosting Dr. Jackson Richmond on the program. She'll be giving her story, which, as we know, just pieces have
Definitely
been.
want to come for that.
You want to come for that. Lot of I'll let her tell you, but please tune in
Yes.
for that. All in all, it has been a wonderful evening. Just know that I'm here for y'all. Love y'all. Later.
Bye.